but we will start in child's pose. But I'm gonna bring my palms together to touch. And then as I stretch and lengthen my rib cage forward, let the head drop through the upper arm bones. So when I'm in this position and I start deepening my breath, I can almost like immediately feel where the places of constriction or tightness are in my shoulder girdle, like around that ball and socket joint of the shoulder. And so just like as you deepen your breath, you can, you know, play with pressing the hands together more, pressing down through the pinky edge side of the hands. And as we continue to hold and maybe even the hips get a little bit heavier, you could have some more space to stretch the rib cage forward. I even kind of slide my elbows forward, let them grip into the mat, and then tuck in even deeper as you open up the sides of the shoulders, the triceps, maybe into your side ribs. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Just let the breath start to loosen up that tension. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. We're going to keep our hips heavy. Roll up through the spine so that you come to seated on your heels. Good. And then your arms will go out, cactus arms. Yep. And then you're going to use right hand on your left elbow to help pull that left elbow, guide behind your head. So the elbow or the forearm behind my head, I can really start to lift my chin away from my chest. Right? And then keep that there. Right arm out to the side, internally rotate your right shoulder and reach for your fingertips. And then this is one of the reasons why you guys, I immediately said you might want to have a strap. Right? You could hold that and then just, yeah, take your time. Okay. And then it can start really small, but I want this to be your seated cat cow. So try to arch your low back, inhale. And then for me, it's just the tiniest little chin to chest rounding into the upper back. That's going to stretch that bottom right shoulder. Inhale, open. Exhale, chin to chest round. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. Come back up through center. Yeah. Pull on the fingertips. Press that right shoulder down away from your right ear. And then release. Good. I always know I kind of did that one right if it needs to be done a little bit gentle. And then second side, take the arms out, cactus arms. Can be a huge difference between side here. Left hand helps. Guide right elbow. And especially when you just do the top arm here to begin, you guys, like make sure that your tailbone is heavy, that your front ribs are in. We're pulling the rib cage back. That'll help you get more into that top right tricep. And then let your left hand come out to the side, internally rotate that shoulder. And yeah, this one I need the strap. Okay, and then I'm gonna let you go with your own breath here. 3 times. Open, tuck in. Okay, so I'm moving through injury, but I'm trying to be like really like an active listening to the body. That we don't want to avoid it. We want to keep whatever range of motion we can. Moving slowly. And then you'll come back to center. And I'd like you to hold for that just extra breath as you pull on the strap, as you pull on the fingertips and press left shoulder down away from your left ear. Good. And then release. Unwinding here. Okay. Shift forward. Hands come forward to the tops of your mat. You can always turn your elbow creases open a little bit wider. And then as your hips shift back, puppy dog pose. Okay, so in puppy dog, I always like to do just the smallest little versions of cat cow in my hip to make sure that I'm not just dumping or sinking into my low back. A little bit of that like core connection. And once you find in your body what allows you to feel that nice tone long through your low back, then you can kind of put the cat cow feeling even like up into your ribs. And how does it feel to pull the ribs in and up, getting more stretch for your armpits, for your triceps? Inhale. Exhale. Okay, knees walk forward, tabletop position. And then from there, hips lift, downward facing dog. Okay, so today as we do this work with the arms up overhead, even though your hands don't move, you want to feel that your inner elbow is rotating forward, your outer shoulders are drawing back. We really want that upper arm bone externally rotating. That would mean like your biceps forward, your triceps wrapping back. Gives a lot of space around the side of the neck. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the mat, tabletop. Last one, come down onto your elbows. Palms come together to press. Yep, just like we did in that child's pose. And then begin to walk your knees back. Can you let your head slide between your inner upper arms? Okay. So a lot of times I'll have you bend your elbows, but today I don't want you to. I want you to keep actually trying to stretch the mat forward with your elbows, with your outer wrist, with the pinky edge side of your hand as you press down. And see if you can actually get a little bit more length through your side body. Okay, that'll be another area that will help us to kind of get our back bends. Inhale. Fill up really left, right into the side ribs. Exhale. Knees walk forward, tabletop position. And we'll start to move just a little bit faster. Inhale here, table. And then exhale, hips lift, downward facing dog. Check your hands. Forearms internally rotate, which grounds you more into the root knuckle and thumb. But then the upper arm bones externally rotate. Control through the ribs, knees to the mat, tabletop. Good. And left leg goes back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose, round. Push the floor away. Continue. Inhale. Exhale for 2. One more. Take it back. Pull it in and up. Start to warm up the spine. Extend left leg back. Bend left knee. Reach back with your right hand. Grab that inner left ankle. And then before you move on, press the tailbone down. Make sure your low back is long. Keep the tailbone pressing down. Begin to lift the left knee up and back. And then both upper arm bones are trying to externally rotate. Yep, find the back bend right in the back of the heart. Inhale. Exhale, tabletop position. Now cow pose. Move your upper back more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yep, whenever you have to soften the knees, right, to let the chest melt through. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the mat, tabletop. Change sides. A little bit stronger with breath. Inhale, pulling the shoulders back, side ribs through. Exhale, round in. But continue. In. Get the muscles on the back body. Exhale. And one more. In, X, empty, empty, empty. Right leg goes back, bend right knee, flex foot, reach back and cut. So it's really tempting to just start to lift right up, but you probably have too much curve in your lumbar spine. Press your tailbone down, lift the knee, and then try to kick up and back. Use the power of the leg. And then I'm really pulling against the ankle with my left hand as I push back, spread open through your left lung. Inhale. Exhale, hand and knee to the mat, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then from there, you inhale, shift forward into plank pose. From plank, lower your left knee down. Okay, and then you're going to turn your left toes to the left as you spin your right heel to flat. Come into a version of Salamba Vatsisthasana. Yep. Okay, good. And then again, you want to get more length through the side body. When you're ready, float. So now it's going to be same hand, same leg. As you bend that right knee, reach back. Okay, so my right knee has to go to the right so that I can press my tailbone, get a little bit of that posterior tuck. And then against that work, drive my right knee back to the left to really feel it in the front of the hip flexor, not just dumping into the low back. 3, 2, 1. Try to keep the control through the core today. Come back through center, tabletop. Everything squares off. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, yep. So to get a deeper back bend, it's really kind of important to feel long low back and the connection of the hips to the tops of the thighs. Inhale forward into plank. Right knee down. You're going to spin your right toes over to the right as you spin your left heel to flat. Variation on Salamba Vatsisthasana. Left arm over your left ear. Good. Yep, excellent. Both of you, go, Maria. And then from here, float the left leg, reach back with your left hand. So do you see that if you didn't fix your hips, it would just go right kind of into the low back? Let your left knee move to the left. So what I mean, it's like I'm pulling my left knee in towards my chest. When I pull my left knee in towards my chest, I can do cat pose. I can get a really long low back and then try to start to work the left femur bone back against that. And then once I have that locked in, I can move the back bend up into the chest. Inhale. Exhale, hand and knee to the mat, tabletop position. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Bend your right knee, roll your right hip open. I'm just gonna pause here a little bit because I mean it's something that like Maria I know happens with you and actually happens in my practice a lot. That I just take this three-legged down dog from the mobility in my low back, and over time that hurts. So I soften my left knee and then I move my right knee a little bit in towards my chest, like what we were just doing. Then I get that posterior tuck of my hips. And then I'm trying to move my right femur bone against that without losing the long low back. And then begin to straighten the left leg. So see if you can do a three-legged, this down dog without as much pressure in your low back. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot steps forward up in between your hands, lunge. Good. Lower your back, left knee down. Hook thumbs. Inhale, arch up, Anjaneyasana. Okay, yeah. And then I'm going to back off, bend my elbows, press my tailbone forward, just like I've been trying to teach. Move the upper bones back. And then again, sink in. Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Keep your elbow creases rotating forward as you lower slow onto your belly. Come all the way down. Now really move your spine. Open up the breath. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back. Down dog. So let's see if we can get in like this little habit. Left leg reaches up and back. Bend left knee. And then like don't correct it first. Kind of see where you dump, where you collapse, where you just kind of hang. Then I'm going to bend my right knee. Move my left knee a little bit in towards my chest. Get more power. Keep that. And then begin to push my left femur bone, my left upper thigh bone against that work as I straighten the right leg. Hopefully you should feel less collapsing through the right side body. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Lunge. Good. Drop your back right knee. Hook thumbs. Inhale. Come up. Anjaneyasana. Okay. And then again, like we feel where we get stuck. Back off by bending the elbows. Scoop tailbone under. I kind of lock it in with that right glute. And then find your way to wiggle in to your Anjaneyasana. Squeeze through the triceps. Inhale. Chin away from chest. Exhale. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Forward plank. Lock through the glutes. Exhale. Bend elbows. Pay attention to the rotation of your upper arm bones. Inhale. Cobra. You feel your biceps turning forward, triceps wrapping back, and downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, one. Use the hold. Keep refining. Inhale. Exhale for two. Inhale. Exhale for three. Right leg lifts. Bend right knee. Find your right amount of lumbar length. Rotation through the hips. Femur bone pushing to the left, hopefully getting more and more of a stretch through the front of your right hip. Right foot steps forward, lunge, back, left knee down. Hook thumbs, inhale, arch up, Anjaneyasana. Okay, this time when we back off, I want you to interlace the hands behind your hips. Bring your palms together, C variation. And as you drag your left knee forward and your right heel back, see how far you can sink in here. I like to press my thumb, so you guys, against my left hamstring. Kind of gives me something to push into to see if I can open my chest more. Release. Downward facing dog. Okay, as you get ready, maybe for bigger and bigger back bends, inhale forward into plank. Exhale, bend elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, maybe you're ready for your up dog. Check the rotation of your upper arm bones. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, left leg floats. Okay, so sometimes I just like to go where my body just naturally wants to go, but then try to refine it, correct it, put more stability around it. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Back right knee down, hook thumbs. Inhale up, Anjaneyasana. And then back off, take C variation behind your hips. Maybe you put the opposite finger on top. Okay, and as I hook my tailbone forward, I want to feel more stretch to the front of that right hip. Yep, that's going to allow you to extend the spine into the back bend. Maybe the thumbs press against the hamstring, ears tip back. Inhale. Let it be an upper back bend. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale. Chaturanga. Pull outer corners of your shoulders back. Stay long through your neck. Evenly distribute those curves. Downward facing dog. Okay, you have one more. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg floats. Three-legged down dog. Yep. Make your adjustments. Can you feel that when you fix your hips, you guys? You probably can stretch more through that right side body. And then right foot forward, up in between your hands, lunge. Drop your back, left knee, hook thumbs. Inhale, arms up. Anjaneyasana. Okay, and then we have the straps. So the straps, I'm going to help stabilize myself, right elbow, right knee. And then the strap is going to go around the top of your left foot. And then the hand goes on the inside of the loop. Good. So inside of the loop, I'm not holding the long tail. Then when I start to drop in, let your elbow swing out. And then maybe you can add both hands for that arm up overhead back bend. Kick back, pull back. And then I'm also pressing my hands into the inner border of the strap to help pull the arm bones back and lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, release. Downward facing dog. Okay, so notice kind of like what your limiting factors are. Okay, is it somewhere in the legs? Is it somewhere in the low back, the upper back, or in the shoulders? Inhale, forward plank. Push the floor, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Long through the back of the neck. Exhale back. Down dog. Left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Good control, especially if you have a tendency to dump into your low back. Know that this is your kind of class to practice refining that. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Okay, then back, right knee down. Support yourself with your elbow on your knee. Good. Okay. And then strap back. Right? It's been a long time, you guys, since we've been doing back bends like this. Nice, Claire. Good. There you go. Good, Maria. Yes. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super deep. I like that both of you are giving yourself just a lot of space. Try to evenly distribute the curve. Push the hands up. Good. 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog should feel good as you decompress your spine. Taking a vinyasa here. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. They'll bring a little more heat into the body. Neutralize that out. Check the back of the neck. And then downward facing dog. 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Look forward, your choice. Jump, step, or land, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Then knees drop, hips sit low, chair pose. And then right from here, we're going to go into a twist, you guys. Left elbow, outside edge of right knee. So even kind of how you were using the strap, you guys, maybe give yourself more space today. I'm just kind of on that tip of my left elbow. Right? If you can really loosen up your mid back, it'll help for the arms up overhead back bends. Inhale. Exhale, fold out over your legs. Uttanasana. Maybe shake your head, shake your shoulders a little bit. Bend knees, drop hips, sit low, chair pose. Yep, strengthen the spine here. And then right elbow outside edge of left knee. Where does the breath get stuck? Where do you feel that you should be lifting more up into the pose? Inhale. Exhale, fold out over your legs. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen half flat back. Step or jump, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. We're gonna go with a high lunge. Step your right foot forward, lift to rise, high lunge. Interlace the hands behind your hips. How's the work through the tailbone, pressing the pubic bone forward. Try to not collapse through the front of that right hip, meaning your right hip point continues to lift up away from your right thigh. Begin to shift forward. Warrior 3. And then you could take it more into Degasana, which is the back bend, lifting your left leg higher, opening your chest. Release hands to the mat. Step back, down dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, push floor, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva. Okay, and then knees to the mat, tabletop. Yep. I like to use a block, you guys. Bringing my block down flat. I'm going to prepare for dolphin. Yep, so I take the L of my hand around the edges of the block, make sure that my elbows walk in very narrowly. And then lift the knees to lift the hips. Dolphin pose. So definitely when my knees lock, I don't feel it as much of an arm up overhead back bend. I like to be really soft through the knees. I can even shorten my stance sometimes to really try to feel that my arm bones, my elbows, my hands are sliding forward and my chest is pressing back in the opposite direction, trying to get my upper arm bones past my ears. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the mat. Walk it back up. Tabletop position. Yeah, and then C, hopefully you guys, down dog should actually feel lighter, right? When you go up and back into your down dog. With the longer arms like this, it's easier. Inhale. Exhale, look forward. The float top of your mat, feet together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Second side, bend, knees drop, hips sit low. Chair pose. Hands to the heart, go to the left first this time. Is it looser? Your last time here. What do you want to wring out? Lifting the belly, lifting the ribs, lifting the chest up towards the thumbs, letting the hips sink low. Fold that over your legs. Uttanasana. Knee drop, hips sit low, chair. Okay, hands at the heart. Left elbow outside edge of right knee. Okay. So if you feel that your hips are going up and your heart and your head are going low, right? We want to get our bum lower and lift our ribs and our heart and our head up higher. So we have this like upward trajectory as we twist. And fold that over your legs. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen half flat back. You choose step or jump as we move through a vinyasa. And then we meet back. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward. Prepare for your lunge. Lift to rise. Pubic bone forward, put the awareness on that front left hip point. It's gonna want to rest on your left upper thigh. We want to kind of keep it lifted. Interlace the hands behind your hips. Begin to hinge forward and take your variation on warrior 3. It can feel like a back bend on top of that left leg as you lift the left hip up. 3, 2, 1. Release, step back, downward facing dog. Yep. Keep letting the shoulder blades roll down your back. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Think back bend here, you guys. Stretch the abdominals, open the heart. Knees to the mat, tabletop. One more time, take your block. Okay. Sometimes I like to put my hands and actually then press them into like the palms, into the short edge sides and press down, kind of like that karate chop. And then again, take dolphin. So it's just kind of do kind of slightly different rotations in your upper arm bone. Walk your feet in if you need to, bend your knees. If I was there, I'd stand at the top of your mat and put a hand in between your shoulder blades. Try to lift the shoulder blade, or sorry, the rib cage up and press it back towards your thighs. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Keep your hands on the block. Drop your knees to the mat. Point your toes. Child's pose. Just firming the hands into the blocks give you more control of that rotation in your upper arm bones. Inhale. Exhale. Lift back up through center. Tabletop. Okay, last little part of your standing flow, and then we're gonna be doing bridges and wheels here today, you guys. So, all right. Right leg lifts, bend right knee. You've been doing a lot of these 3-legged down dogs. Use it as a back bend, but not dumping into the low back. Start to put the back bend into the shoulder blades, into the upper. And then right foot steps forward lunge. Yeah. Lift to rise, high lunge. Left knee draws in towards your chest. Simple standing twist. Right hand outside edge of left knee. Left hand back. Whenever I'm doing a back bending class, I like to put decent amount of twists in there. Inflate the lungs. As you come back to center, hands at your hips, not to Rajasana, you guys. So that left hand is still gonna go back with the thumb up, that external rotation. And now when I kick my left leg back, I'm actually gonna grab the inner ankle. Check your shoulders, check your chest, square your hips. Now remember the feeling of the left knee moving forward. I'm gonna move my left knee forward. It's a little bit counterintuitive so that then I can control. Tailbone down, long through the low back. And then as I keep that, I begin to shift the left femur bone back into your Natarajasana. Tailbone presses down, pubic bone presses down. Good, you kind of lock it in there around the left sitting bone as you open your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the hips. Left knee comes in towards your chest. And then we're going to step it back for pyramid pose. Left foot steps back about that 1.5 meters as your front right leg straightens. Inhale, you can always use blocks. And then exhale, fold. And then the leverage of my hands on the mat, you guys kind of help turn myself into the pose, but also checking your neck and shoulders. No tension there. If you put more energy up through the front of your right leg, you get a deeper posterior chain stretch. Inhale. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank, and then this time you're going to exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Interlace the hands behind your hips, big toes touch. Okay, so that's the action. Pubic bone forward, so that's down into the mat, tailbone long. Against that work, you start to press your femur bones against that to lift the legs and lift the chest. Shalabhasana. Okay, if it's really low, but I want it to be strengthening for the back body. Keep externally rotating your upper arm bones, widen across your collarbones. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands. Downward facing dog. If you've lost the Ujjayi breath at all, try to connect to it there. Left leg lifts, bend left knee, roll the hip open. Check, control. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Lift to rise, high lunge. At the end of this class, someone just like all front body should feel quite open, and then right knee draws in towards your chest and find your twist. So not to Rajasana. You can even keep that right hand back, you guys, if you want to. Left hand at your hip as you square it and then scoop that right ankle back. Nice. Press in. Okay, now I'm going to move my right knee a little bit forward. Lock in. And then kick up and out. Yeah. So it's one of those ones, you guys, that like it may look like I'm going as deep, but it's way more protected in my low back, putting it right up into the chest. 3, 2, 1. As you release, right knee comes back into center. Just catch your balance. And then pyramid pose. Right foot steps back. Front left leg straightens. The fold in. Take 3 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen, half flat back. Exhale, step back, you guys, down dog. Inhale, forward plank. And exhale, lower slow to the belly. Then you add what you just did all together. So bend the knees, flex the feet. We're going to be taking like a bow pose, like a Dhanurasana. Reach back. Make sure that your upper arm bones are externally rotated. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Then you want to try to scoop the tailbone forward and then kick up and back using the power of your legs, kicking up and back like the heels, trying to stack over your knees. Heel open through your chest. Good. 3. Lifting, I don't care how much up, but it's pressing back for 2. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, release that. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your head to one side and rock out your hips. If you have any low back pain, I would suggest bending the knees, and you could rock your feet back and forth. Okay. And then we're going to repeat that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, knees bend, flex feet. That protects the knees. Reach back. Yeah. Okay. So I try, you guys, not to let my knees flare out too wide. You want to keep your thigh bones more parallel. I squeeze my heels in like I'm holding a block. Press my hands Spread the check your low, let it go. And then move the femur bones up and back to help lift you down your asana. Okay. The more you breathe into the lungs, try to really stretch. You're going to break up a lot of that connective tissue. Inhale. Exhale. This time, when you release, hands underneath your shoulders, press back, child's pose. Lift up, half flat back. Yep. And then I'm going to slide all the way forward here, knees wide. And you guys have your blocks. So you have pillows. I'm putting them on Chicago style. Drop back into Supta Virasana. Box can be as high as you need them, or you can stack some pillows. Yep. Maria, actually come forward unless it's too much on your knees. Yeah, we want to do a more of the back bend. Nope, not today. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then you can just, support the back bend. Cool. Okay, so Claire, right, we can press the top of the shin bones down, the center of the ankles down against that work. Tuck the tailbone under. Kind of last 30 seconds here, and then we're gonna try for some bridges and for some wheels. Okay, as you press into your elbows, Claire, in the Maria, you can come up off your blocks and come to lie all the way down. Okay, so what class is gonna look like, you guys? And I know, like Maria, if you have back stuff, we're gonna practice bridge. Okay, we're all gonna take one bridge together. If you want to stay at bridge, you stay at bridge. Then we're going to move on to some wheels. And if none of that seems ideal for you, you could stack 2 blocks just underneath your hips. If you want more support today, and just work bending the shoulder blades, upper arm bones open, and working the chest. Okay. But I think we all can take a pretty active bridge here first. So lift your hips, interlace the hands. We've done lots of C variation in the arms today. Okay. And then this is where I drop my bum a little. When I drop my bum, I sink the heads of my femur bones. That gives me more space than to scoop my tailbone long, lock in through the glutes, and then imagine someone pushing your femur bones down as you start to lift your hips up. I always think of them like 2 puzzle pieces, kind of locking here and open. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Release the hands, come down, choose. Do you want to just go a little more passive today, more restorative, 2 blocks underneath the hips? Or do you like to take the hands up overhead, right? Doing more of the arm up overhead back bend. It's been months, I think, since we've done full wheels. And it's kind of the same thing here. Before you come deep in the femur bone, against that work, as you press your femur bones down, you tuck the tailbone under just like the lower body in the bridge pose. And then you can lift to the crown of your head. Make sure your shoulder blades are on your upper back. And then press up. will find your wheel. Four, five, bend the elbow into chest. Come down. If you're on the double block and you'd like to extend one leg forward, just let the leg roll open. Sometimes I can give a nice amount of stretch to the front of the hip. And I do like one leg at a time. Okay, and then if you're going to take another wheel, we're going to do one more. Toes turn in. Yep, exactly, Maria. Yep, balancing out the legs. Pay attention to how the low back, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the femur bones connect. I'm always pressing the femur bones into the hamstrings. And then take your time as you come on up. Finding wheel. Four, five, into chest as you lower slow. Okay, good job, you guys. And you should your strong. Okay, so let's use those. Yep, you could draw your knees in towards your chest to release anything out of your low back. And then right foot steps into the mat. Take the strap across the ball of your left foot. Especially like if you have the loop, you guys, you can make like the small little loop. Like the closer we hold up by the foot, the more power, the more leverage we have. And then extend the right leg forward. I do find it to be a pretty clear cue, at least in my body, is to picture my femur bone, especially the head of it, always trying to push into the hamstring on both legs. Both ends of the strap go into your right hand. Come into a twist, you guys. Take that left leg all the way across the body as you roll to your outer right hip. Use it to neutralize your spine. I like to bend my knee here, you guys, and actually take my foot out of the strap to come back to center, right? It really keeps the pressure off my low back. And then left foot steps into the mat, change sides. Is it a good cue for you to think femur bone moving forward into the hamstring and then left leg extends? Both ends of the strap into your left hand. Twist. Just like all of that. To keep the twist like out of the low back. Bring it more up to the base of your heart. Inhale, where does the breath still kind of get stuck? Like I would bend the knee or remove it from the strap as you come back to center. And then bend both knees, step the feet into the mat, interlace the hands behind the back of your head. Inhale here at the bottom. Exhale, crunch up. Okay, so when you do back bends, and we haven't been doing back bends in a while, you want to reintegrate core, lower down, inhale. Stabilize, push your feet into the mat. Squeeze the pelvic floor, lower abdominals. One more inhale. Curl up. Imagine you're blocking between your knees. Push your lumbars down. Look forward. Extend your arms forward. As you extend your arms forward to the top of your mat, lift up even more. Can you get the bottom tips of your shoulder blades up off the mat? Maybe the bottom ribs squeeze into the belly, and then you pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Push into the feet. 3, 2, 1. Release. Arms out to the side. Inhale. Exhale, as you extend your legs, you guys, for Shavasana, I'm going to put the blocks underneath my hamstrings. Right? That softens the hip flexors in the front, alleviating any pressure we get from lying on our back. Right? Sometimes I squeeze one butt cheek, I squeeze the other butt cheek. You could squeeze both butt cheeks, kind of wiggle out the sacrum. And then land to take rest. See if we can let the breath free up around the heart, up around the chest. Begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Just stretch your arms up overhead. Yep. Bending your knees. Roll to the right and press up to find seated. Hold your hands in front of your heart center, right? So, like everything in our lives, like an injury or an experience or something, when we get hurt, we start protecting it. It builds up scar tissue, and then we just keep like limiting ourselves, right? Whether it's, in our personal relationships or in our physical body. So, really making this active choice to like try to stay open and move through like the discomfort, the pain. And as you're ready, take your thumbs to your third eye to bow forward and seal your practice. Jai, Siddhatma. Jai.